I would start with something very basic, that my ability to influence, right? And how would I influence? I would influence if I have credibility. How would I have credibility? I'll have credibility if I've been able to consistently deliver over and above what's expected out of me over the years. And right, and seen as somebody who keeps the organization's interest ahead of my personal interests, right? And come across trustworthy. Second is, before getting into any area of solution from a technology perspective, defining the problem, right? And looking at what's happening in the market, what are other companies doing, how would a technology, because you can't be starting with technology and then working backwards to force fit into the organization. You have to fundamentally look at what is that one or two or three problems I'm trying to solve for my company, my organization, and then how will I use technology as an enabler to solve that problem, right? Third, in terms of the homework, right? Just like an HR leader is expected to do a lot of homework to ensure that he or she is convincing the CFO and the CFO on what should the increment budget be for that organization, because it has a P&L impact. The same would be required here, that one would be required to say, this is how the technology would come in and help solve a problem. And this is the cost implication of doing that. But by the way, this cost is going to be significantly lower over a period of time, and therefore it's a net positive for the company. Right? So articulating that vision to the stakeholders. And then last but not the least, my personal experience has been that it always is good to do a small pilot within the organization and before one kind of goes big. Because in a pilot, at least my personal experience has been, you get to understand the implications of technology, the nuts and bolts, right? And most of the noise that comes out, right, both the good noise as well as the bad noise, right, is when people experience the nuts and bolts, right? And that's when things move from PPT into actual experience, that's when the rubber hits the road. So doing a pilot is a great idea because it convinces you and also gives you enough data and information to convince the organization as well.